Hello, gentlemen. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, and it saves me a lot of typing, having to organize all my ideas. It's just easy if I can just kind of quasi shoot from the hip relative to CJ 480. Anyway, long story short, the course was developed with the most honorable and, let's just say, compassionate intentions in mind. In other words, students would have an opportunity, as so alerted in the announcement that I did that was embedded in CJ 300, and I'll get to that in a minute, where they have an opportunity to work with and network with an agency, hopefully, that would make an impression and eventually maybe lead to a job, right, in a perfect world. And actually it has on a couple of occasions. And or the work product that students have done when they had an agency agreement actually had been implemented, distributed, deployed by their select agency. Problem is, sometimes getting a hold of an agency and working with a point of contact that's actually going to bear some fruit can be very disconcerting and may not happen, right? Some people live in large areas. They want to, connect with their local agency, but the agency just doesn't have the time or the personnel, the manpower, whatever you want to call it, to say, yes, here's a problem you can investigate, and here's some data, here's some reports. Okay, so this course here has flaws. There's no question about it. Like I said, the intention was to help these students make a professional connection. Some students don't need that professional connection because they're already in the industry, or they're in the military, they're involved in human services, they're in social work, or they're interested in those things that have an affiliation, direct and indirect, with the whole criminal justice system. So I know that there is kind of a myopic intention here relative to police agency. Well, I just think that's not fair to the student, especially since a research course like this, okay, is very difficult, made more difficult by the fact that it's only 8 weeks. Okay, they have very little opportunities to write and revise, which really is the hallmark of any well-intentioned research course, because they have to write for research. They have to develop those or demonstrate the skill sets associated with scholarly writing. And they have to be very good at, quote, information literacy, finding stuff in the library quickly that correlates directly to and supports the topic they have or may not have. So, not every single student has taken CJ 300. It's not a prerequisite for the CJ 40 capstone. So, it's a matter of building in some flexibility so that they can really understand the framework of how to develop a research proposal. Okay? Some students are able to do an in-depth, full-scale research project. Not all of them. The ones that I know that were more successful in doing that did it within their own agency. Okay, so I mean, one of the exemplars they used is from a Virginia state trooper who's actually going on for his PhD, and he did it on DWI in his agency. I've had military people do it where they are. Not every single thing or item or topic has a criminal aspect to it. There may be a relationship to it, but not directly. So how do we make the rubric work? Because the rubric is yourself, the final project rubric is about all the program outcomes. One of the program outcomes, for example, is, international implications or whatever. Okay? Well, their topic may have some connection to, there may be some relationship relative to discussing, a globalization or international implications, whatever it may be. If it's drug trafficking, okay, fine. But what if it's not? And what they're really passionate about investigating, say, child abuse, but there's no international, okay? So what do? This is where you have the authority to be flexible in your classroom. You're the teacher. I don't like the rubrics to do your thinking for you. And it's very difficult to say, to give students, a topic that's, they may not do very well. But I've allowed students personally to investigate what they're passionate about, okay? And I've helped facilitate connections with agencies or people that are associated, affiliated with the criminal justice system. It could be homelessness. It could be any one of these things here. It doesn't dismiss the fact that they have to demonstrate an understanding of theory and or behavioral / criminological theory. They have to do that. There's some things, and we're not forgiving everything, all right? But there may be some, and this is where the handholding comes in, helping the student address each and every element of the rubric to the best of their abilities, but overall demonstrating coherence, articulation, okay, substantive writing, scholarly or expository writing capabilities, organization, a good handle on APA formatting, that type of thing. But we don't have 16 weeks, right? So they have 8 weeks, which really, if you pare it down, is about 6. Excuse me. Exemplars are wonderful. but they're in a hurry to get through this. So we want to make it, this is not dumbing it down or watering it down. We're not dismissing anything. They need to speak to those elements, but not every single element may necessarily apply because they're focusing on something different. Okay, so I would ask that you work with them as best you can individually. It should be capped at 20, so it's not that hard to give a strategic plan to your students to say, all right, let's work on this topic. Okay, we have the luxury of Dr. Hector Garcia now, okay, who's our, what they call the super adjunct. It's been terrific at those students who have taken CJ 300 and are responding to the announcement to line up an agency contact. So Dr. Hector Garcia has been great like that, okay? So here's the thing. We're developing a new program anyway, right? And this is a course that it's a capstone. We want them to be able to demonstrate all the competencies and skill sets, et cetera, associated with doing research, okay? And unfortunately, there is some idiosyncrasies in the course, disconnect between rubrics to an extent, that don't help the student. All right, and as the course goes, I teach it. I'm teaching it now. I'm teaching it in EW3 too as well. As the course goes, we may want to get together as a group to say, okay, what's the best way to approach this student here? How do we help the student get through the course and be able to leave the course confident in their abilities to create, draft, write research? Okay, so thanks for listening. It saved me a lot of time. I just want to have a kind of an open dialogue, break the ice, because I know that instructors who are teaching this course say, geez, I can't make this work for the student. They're really not speaking to this element fully or whatever it may be. Well, let's work with the student. Let's help them. And again, this is not dumbing it down or watering it down and giving them a free pass, not at all. But this is about, trying to make something really function for them to help them expose or develop and expose what they're capable of doing.